I watched his name vanish right in front of me. 1 second it was there, Dylan_27, glowing faintly green on the chat list, and then it was gone. Not offline, not blocked, not deleted. Just gone. The cursor blinked where his messages used to be, but the text had already dissolved into nothing. Even the notifications disappeared, like the server decided he'd never existed at all. I sat there staring at the empty chat window, heartbeat pounding in my ears louder than the whir of my PC fan. I kept scrolling up, desperate to find something. A file, a voice clip, a single line of proof that he'd been real. Nothing, just blank space. Even the timestamp skipped, like time itself refused to acknowledge him. I told him not to play. God, I told him. And now, I can't even prove he was ever my friend. I shouldn't even be posting this. The last person who tried to tell someone what happened, they vanished too. Their posts, their photos, their username, all scrubbed clean. But I have to say something. Before it happens to me, it started 2 weeks ago when Dylan sent me the invite. It started innocently enough. Dylan was scrolling through a private Discord server, one of those obscure communities with names you can barely pronounce, when he stumbled across it. A pinned message, glowing faintly like it shouldn't exist. A download link for a game called EREBU.exe. Nothing about it made sense. No developer, no website, no reviews. The link didn't even lead to a conventional download page. It was just a black screen with a single line of text. If you win, you're free. If you lose, you're forgotten. I wish I'd screenshotted it. I wish I'd saved something. Because the second I tried to copy the link, it vanished. The message disappeared from Discord, leaving no trace it had ever been there. Dylan laughed it off, said it was probably some indie dev trolling the server. But there was something in his eyes, a spark that didn't belong. They said only 1,000 players could ever join, he told me. But I swear I saw the number drop every time someone played. I don't know why, but it freaked me out a little. I should have stopped there. Should have told him to leave it alone, forget it, burn the invite. But I didn't. Curiosity is a dangerous thing, and the more I watched him talk about it, the more I felt drawn in. The way the invite seemed alive, like it was waiting for someone or something to accept. Eventually, I did the unthinkable. I installed it too. Not because I wanted to play, not because I was brave, but because I needed to know he'd be safe. Because if something happened to Dylan, I had to be close enough to stop it. Or so I thought. And just like that, our normal, comfortable reality started to blur. What began as a curious click on an unknown file was about to drag us both into something we could never undo. At first, the game seemed harmless. Pixelated corridors, flickering torches, the faint hum of static in the background, like a low-end horror title from 10 years ago. Dylan zipped through the early levels, laughing at the clumsy sprites and awkward sound design, making jokes about how this is the kind of game they put in bargain bins. I followed more cautiously, my cursor hovering over options, hesitant, the ambient noise already crawling under my skin. Then the game asked for something strange. My home address. Dylan shrugged and typed his in without a second thought, teasing me for hesitating. Then it wanted phone numbers, email contacts, locations. Things I'd never shared online, things I didn't even think a game could know. I paused, heart thumping. Maybe it's just poorly coded phishing, I suggested, trying to rationalize it. Dylan just rolled his eyes and continued that it didn't stop there. Levels started shifting when we weren't looking. Doors I remembered closed in on themselves. Hallways twisted unnaturally. And then it started predicting our actions. I would move the cursor, and the game would already be one step ahead, highlighting the exact path I was about to click. Dylan laughed nervously at first, but even he grew quiet when his in-game avatar mimicked gestures he hadn't made yet. Then I received the message. A small pop-up, simple white text on black. Stop playing before you reach level 5. No sender name. No trace. Just that. Despite that, we promised each other we'd quit. We closed the game, swore we wouldn't touch it again. But the next morning, Dylan's account was active again. He swore he had deleted the game, that he hadn't installed anything overnight. Yet there it was, blinking on his desktop like it had never left, patiently waiting for the next move. And that's when I realized this wasn't just a game. It was watching. And it knew us. It started small. Dylan called me one night, voice tight, almost shaking. I keep hearing it, he whispered. Even when the game's closed. Footsteps outside my door. Whispers. Calling my name. I told myself it was stress. Too many late nights, too much caffeine. Maybe the game was just messing with his head. But his fear was palpable, infecting the room through the phone line. Then the webcam light started flickering. At first, he blamed it on a faulty connection. But he began noticing shadows that didn't belong, movements in the reflection that weren't his own. And the audio, that low, static hum, followed him everywhere. I tried to rationalize it, telling him to uninstall, to log off, to forget it existed. That it wasn't until I got the voice message that I truly understood. I opened it, expecting the usual garbled audio, maybe Dylan's nervous laughter. Instead, a scream ripped through my speakers, raw and unfiltered. It ended abruptly, replaced by static, and then a cold, mechanical whisper. Player 1 fail. I froze. My hands shook as I replayed it, but each time, the file refused to load fully. I had saved it, trying to preserve evidence, but now it wouldn't play. Any attempt to report the incident online led to an automatic response. Acknowledged. You're next. The words weren't comforting. They were a warning. A promise. By the next day, I couldn't ignore it. I drove over to Dylan's apartment, expecting him to be pacing, panicked, waiting for me. But the place was unnervingly silent. The lights were on, furniture arranged perfectly, counters wiped clean, too clean. It was as if someone had erased the chaos of his life in preparation for something else. And I had no idea what that something else was. I started reaching out, trying to find him the only way I knew, online. I checked his social media accounts first. Nothing. Not deactivated, not hacked, not private. They never existed. His profiles, his posts, his pictures, gone, like someone had scrubbed them from reality itself. I called our old school, hoping for some record, some proof that he had been there. They had no record of Dylan ever enrolling. Even mutual friends looked at me like I was insane. Who? They asked. Never heard of him. The Discord server we all used? Altered. Chat history had gaps, conversations rewritten as though he'd never been there. I scrolled frantically, hunting for any trace, any mention, any digital breadcrumb. Every deleted message, Every vanished avatar, every erased timestamp whispered the same terrifying thing. Dylan had been erased. I tried to warn people online. I posted about what was happening, but the thread disappeared almost instantly. Some of you messaged me asking if I was okay. I never saw your names again. And then the direct message came, unexpected, chilling in its simplicity. If you keep searching, you'll join him. System_0, my stomach dropped. Something was watching. It wasn't just a game anymore. It was a predator, and Dylan had been its first prey. I couldn't let it end there. I had to know what happened. I had to find him. And so, despite every instinct screaming at me to stop, I reinstalled the game. I stared at that familiar corrupted icon blinking on my desktop, and I told myself I wasn't playing. I just needed to know where Dylan had gone. When I reinstalled Erebus Esche, it didn't load like before. No splash screen, no pixelated start menu. Just blackness, and then a single line of text appeared, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Welcome back, Player 2. I didn't remember creating an account, but it already knew my name. My real one. The air in my room felt heavier as I clicked continue. At first, it looked like the same crude game, a flickering corridor, a red-tinted maze. But something was different this time. The textures shifted to resemble my walls, my desk, the exact position of the lamp by my monitor. It wasn't a game anymore. It was a reflection. Every movement I made, the flick of my wrist, the turn of my head, echoed instantly on screen. Then, without warning, my chair creaked. Behind me, I froze. The game camera turned by itself, slowly, and showed something standing where I sat. A figure made of static, tall, faceless. Its head tilted in perfect sync with mine. I tried to quit, but the escape key didn't work. The cursor refused to leave the window. That's when the chat box opened on its own. Letters forming one by one, mechanical and deliberate. Do you want to remember him? Y-E-S. No, my throat went dry. I didn't click anything, but the game selected Y-E's for me. The temperature in my room dropped. Breath fogged the air. I heard the faint buzz of my speakers, and then a voice. Dylan's voice, warped, fragmented, whispering my name through the static. His laughter echoed from the game, twisted and distant. Then the screen shifted into a new level. The final chamber. It was no longer pixelated. It looked real. My room rendered in perfect detail. Same posters, same cluttered desk. And in the center of it stood something wearing Dylan's outline. Not exactly him, but close enough to break me. His face flickered like corrupted footage. His movements jerky, digital. It spoke in a voice that wasn't entirely human. Player 2 must finish the cycle. I tried to move, but my character, my reflection, raised a weapon I didn't recognize. A crude, blocky blade. The shadow moved closer, each step sinking with a low rumble beneath my feet. Stop, I whispered. Please, Dylan, stop. For a moment, the figure hesitated. Its face glitched, half sorrow, half static. Then the screen filled with text again. Complete the program. I swung. I don't remember choosing to, but I did. The impact froze the game. A scream tore through my speakers, familiar, human, and then everything went black. My monitor flickered, showing fragments of code. Player 2 complete. Uploading memory. The cursor blinked, waiting. My reflection stared back at me, but something was off. The room behind it was empty. If you ever see erebus.exe in your spam folder, don't click it. Don't download it. Don't even hover your cursor. Because when the upload starts, it doesn't stop. And if you hear someone whisper your name while your screen's off, it's already too late. After that, I don't remember anything, just static. A faint buzzing in my ears, and darkness swallowing everything that was left of me. The last thing I remember was the screen going black. Then static. Endless flickering static that filled my vision like a snowstorm in the dead of night. My final post, the one I had been typing to warn everyone, appeared half-finished, broken, glitching across the screen. Words I didn't remember writing shimmered and distorted before vanishing entirely. A text overlay appeared suddenly. Jagged and unnatural, file corrupted. I tried to move, to call someone, to stop whatever was happening. But there was nothing. No keyboard response, no mouse, just the unrelenting hiss of white noise. And then a new uploader appeared. A user I didn't recognize. A name cold and empty. System_0. Along with the video file came a message. He shouldn't have kept recording. Somehow, I found this file later, buried in a dead forum thread. The timestamp had long since passed, the thread forgotten by everyone else. But if you're watching this, it's already seen you. Every glitch in your feed, every message that disappears without explanation, it's tracking, waiting, testing. I want to tell you to close it, to delete the file, to never speak my name or Dylan's again. But I know some of you are curious. Some of you will ignore the warning. That's why I leave this here. Watch closely. Comment if your messages vanish. Share if your friends notice. Because every interaction feeds it, makes it stronger. And then, just as the static reaches its crescendo, a faint whisper slides beneath the hiss. Barely audible but unmistakable. Next player confirmed. You shouldn't be seeing this. I didn't upload it. At least I don't think I did. The file just appeared in my drafts last night, under my old username. I haven't used that account in weeks. When I tried to delete it, the screen flickered and a message popped up. Welcome back, player 2. So maybe it's me speaking. Or maybe it's something pretending to be me. People keep saying the video's cursed, that it spreads through reposts and screen recordings. Someone said it embeds itself in compression artifacts, hiding in the static between frames. I don't know if that's true, but I've seen the comments disappear. One by one. Someone in the comments already vanished. Remember the static chatroom story that went around last year? Same patterns. Same code base. This isn't new, it's just evolving. Every time someone talks about it, shares it, even says the name out loud, the counter ticks up. You think I'm exaggerating? Go ahead, scroll down. Check if your timestamp still exists when you refresh. The more you talk about it, the faster it finds you. That's why I'm not asking for likes or theories or comments this time. Just share the warning once, and then forget you ever heard this name. Don't replay it. Don't analyze it. Don't listen for the whisper at the end. Because if you ever get an invite from Erebus, don't play it. Just delete it. Before it deletes you.